Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
In this part of the world, there is a sense of pride in what's called Minnesota and North Dakota nice. Not that we have to really work hard at it. It's a way of life that we generally do naturally.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Our willingness to help and respect others knows no limits, right? Not always. Others have us beat in at least one area.
Joplin, Missouri, May of 2011. The aftermath of an E5 tornado, one of the deadliest in U.S. history. More than 160 people killed. There were days when multiple funerals were held. For residents, that disaster accentuated one of the most time-honored funeral traditions, the procession, the slow journey for the deceased and mourners to the cemetery.
I typically pull over. Everyone else does.
In Joplin, most if not all drivers pull over for a funeral procession to show honor and respect at the passing of a loved one.
And I think of residents in Joplin, Missouri that grew up knowing what to do when they meet a funeral procession. It was just customary that you pull over.
We've never really had an issue with anybody interrupting it or not cooperating.
I'm almost holding my breath sometimes.
This is South University in Fargo.
Because I'm on such high alert.
On a busy weekday around noon. We hooked up with Hanson Runsvold Funeral Home. We organized a mock funeral procession with a hearse and a parade of followers, all driving slow with their lights on. You'd be hard-pressed not to notice. You come up alongside a funeral procession. What do?
Pull over.
You do pull over?
I pull over.
As we headed southward in the direction of Sunset Memorial Cemetery, drivers courteously stayed out of our way, but showed no intentions of slowing down and certainly weren't going to come to a stop.
I just saw one the other day, and I was one of the very few people that pulled over.
At each red light, the procession would stop and was cautious to resume when the light turned green.
And we just try and go nice and slow and easy so that we're not making it dangerous.
When the procession pulled out of the cemetery to head back north on University, we encountered a driver who either wasn't paying attention or whose time was simply more important than anyone else's, cutting right into the procession, then quickly moving into the left lane.
I don't know, I think we're so busy that we just don't, we're so consumed by what we're doing that and our schedule, we just go on to the next thing and hurry here and hurry there and don't take time to pay your respect.
To be fair to Fargo drivers, a police escort helps out quite a bit in Joplin, especially at intersections. Fargo police don't provide escorts. Moorhead and West Fargo police do. So we headed to West Fargo to see if a squad car in front of our procession would make a difference. And it did for the most part. People seemed more willing to pull over or slow down, if not out of respect for the dead, at least for the law. But in one case, with one driver pulled over, another didn't feel the same way and simply went around. What do you think about that?
It's kind of sad that we've gotten away from that. I mean, you should show us some respect.
When comparing traffic laws around the country, most cities focus on the intersections, giving funeral processions the right of way. But on most roads, it's up to individual drivers to decide whether they should pull over or slow down.
Oh, did you get this lady?
John, what would you like to see drivers in Fargo do?
I would see when they'd see the lights, procession coming, they would pull over if they're in the path and just anything that would show the family respect.
The point of this story was not to be critical of Fargo Metro drivers. I myself have driven alongside a funeral procession without pulling over. But seeing firsthand how they do it in Joplin, that was an experience that made me ask if drivers here need to be a little more Minnesota or North Dakota nicer. I'd like to hear what you think. Join in on our conversation by going to our Facebook page. A lot of people already have commented.
21.5 million people nationwide are at risk of getting their Social Security numbers and fingerprints stolen. Anyone who's done work for the government works for them, including military members, mail carriers, veteran affairs employees, and many more, were hit by a cyber attack. A viewer contacted our whistleblower hotline saying they got a letter from the Office of Personnel Management. The letter said they were impacted by a major cybersecurity incident involving background check information. Tyler Kropp said that he got the letter because he's in the Army, but millions more got the same letter.
At first, I thought it was a scam, but then I kept reading, and at the bottom it said, if anyone tries to contact you with this information, don't give it to them. So I thought maybe it would be real.
The U.S. Office of Personnel Management confirms they were the target of a malicious cyber attack against the government. They're offering identity and credit monitoring, identity restoration, and identity theft insurance. If you're afraid that your information has been stolen, we have a link on our website to help you. Just log on to valleynewslive.com and click on the hot button.
The holiday season often brings families together and creates some stress as well. Firefighters are always on standby during holidays, but seem to respond more to medical calls than fires on Thanksgiving. This according to a Moorhead firefighter. The holidays are supposed to be fun and special, but oftentimes having the entire family around can bring stress and sometimes family fights. In addition to being all together, if you're preparing the big meal, you can feel the stress of the day ahead of time. Jacob Kipp says his advice to his family and friends is to simply let everything go.
Even in my family, we have a typical fight. I mean, half of them are Republican, half of them are Democratic. I mean, everyone's an idiot, so they all think their opinions are right. So everyone gets on each other's nerves.
Sanford Health suggests not spending the holidays alone, especially if you can't be with family. They say that emotional stress can lead to depression. To see other tips on handling holiday stress, click on this story on our website at valleynewslive.com.
Some call it Drinksgiving. It's the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving where bars across the country and here in the Valley are extremely busy. And it's why you can expect an increase in DUI checkpoints all throughout this holiday weekend.
Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker headed to downtown Fargo, where bartenders told us how they make sure their patrons don't end up overserved and behind the wheel.
We have no problem calling cabs for anybody, calling Uber, making sure people get home safely.
It's that mentality Katie Hyance, who works at Old Broadway, says comes naturally when you're serving people alcohol.
We don't want anybody having too much here and then leaving here and getting hurt or hurting somebody else, so we might as well, do that for them.
So who exactly is heading out to the bars on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving?
A lot of people are back in town from school, or they have a 4-day weekend. Like, a lot of businesses are closed on Thanksgiving.
And when do the bartenders know you've had enough?
All of our bartenders and servers know what kind of signs to look for. Slurring of speech, yelling a little too loud, just partying a little too hard.
And once that happens,
just stop serving that person.
We have no problem cutting people off.
Which might bring your night of partying to an end, but will hopefully save you from getting a DUI. Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
And we have contact information for a few different cab services in the metro area. For those, just go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.
If you're in town visiting family or friends in hospitals, nursing homes, or things like that this Thanksgiving holiday, you have a place to stay. TMI Hospitality is offering rooms at 3 of its Fargo hotels to people in that situation, and the rooms are free. You will need to contact the hotels as the rooms are on a space available basis. TMI has what it's called the Room at the Inn project, and the idea is to help families feel comfortable when they have to be away from home during the holidays, to be with loved ones in difficult situations. The Fargo hotels participating in the program are Fargo Comfort Suites, Fargo Fairfield Inn and Suites, and the Fargo Residence Inn.
Valley News Live.